everyone and welcome to another video! A few days ago I received this box from Blaster Parts. I didn't know why they sent it to me. They didn't give me any notification I was going to get it. So I opened it up and on the inside I got a note and it said, "Dear Bobo, thanks for your nice review of our BCC, the Blaster Parts Centurion Converter Kit. According to your advices, we changed the design so the slot for the clip is not underneath the Dark Tooth anymore, and the converter is running a lot more reliably now. We have attached a BAAC2 for you, so if you'd like, you can do a review of that item too." I was like, a BAAC2? Well, what does that mean? It means the Blaster Parts Alien Ammo Counter 2.0. It's all in this little box. I'm gonna put it on my little TV dinner stand, because that's what I use as a table, and we're gonna open it up and see what's inside. So here is the box itself. It says BAAC 2.0 on it, Blaster Parts Aliens Ammo Counter. Package content comes with a barrel extension, rail adapter for vertical attachment, rail adapter for horizontal attachment, and adjustment tool. And it requires 3 AAA batteries, which I have with me, and all of them are in good working condition. I should probably also read this because it seems pretty important. It says, "Warning, not suitable for children. Do not dispose this product in household waste. Dispose only at your local special waste disposal." Seems pretty important. So let's open it up. I've already opened it up once. This isn't exactly how your item might come, but yeah, I'm not very good at repacking things, as you can probably tell. But let's take a look at what we get. First off, this is the ammo counter itself. This is what houses all the circuitry. And it has this nice, it looks kind of like a braided tube that goes into the attachment at the front. So you have your counter right here. You have this little switch. Not entirely sure what that does yet. And then you have these buttons down here, which I believe you use to select how much ammo is in your magazine before you start firing. So if we follow this braid, we come to the barrel attachment, which is pretty nice looking. I'm not gonna say it's the best looking barrel attachment because I don't really like barrel attachments, but for what it is, it's actually kind of nice, and I can see it working well with darker color schemes, which I know a lot of people like to use. It has the little knob down here, which is spring loaded, that fits into most barrel attachment areas, and I guess you can replace the spring inside there with that screw in case, I don't know, it goes bad or you want a better lock on there or something. And if you look down the barrel, I don't know how well you're gonna see this, you can see 2 little, I guess they're lights and sensors down in there, which is what tells the stuff in here that you've shot a dart. One thing I really like about this is that it is 3D printed, but I believe they give this like an acetone wash to make it look really smooth. And if you kind of just glanced over it, it looks like a plastic product, a cheap plastic product, but it's pretty well put together. It doesn't feel cheap at all. There's no squishing, there's no flexing. It feels like a really nice product, so that's nice. I like how you can't really see the 3D printed lines on there. I think that's kind of cool. So put that right over here, and you'll also get this box right here. Sorry if I'm moving things around weirdly. I'm not used to this angle. So you get this box. Let's open it up and see what you get. And on the inside, you get a little Ziploc bag. And inside there, you get this rail attachment, which I believe is the horizontal mounting. So if you have like a Rapid Strike, it clamps on like that. And then this fits in these little ports right here, and you just screw that in so you can adjust it like that. And then you can also mount it horizontally. And then this one is the vertical mount. So, and you get this Allen wrench, which is to twist and turn the little screws inside there. So on the front here, you have 2 screws which open up and you put your AAAs in. So let me go grab a screwdriver and I will install them. So after you take off the cap, you can slide this little battery tray out, and it doesn't come out too far. It stops right about there for me, but on the inside you can see all the circuitry, which is nicely laid out, and you have a good bit of room. So this is definitely gonna fit, but it's gonna fit nice and snugly. So after you get that out, you slide that open, and where are my batteries? There they are. And you install your batteries like normal batteries. Now that you have your batteries installed, this switch on the right is what is used to turn it on, and it will go to 18 rounds by default. Now if you tap these buttons, they don't really do much, but if you hold down the top, it will cycle between the 18, 35, and 6 round capacities that it knows how to read. No 12, so just keep that in mind. And the bottom one is what you use to reset. So I'm going to turn it to 6. There we go. And I'm going to drop this dart through here a few times and show you the reset. Alright, it's down to 2. And if you want to reset it, you hold down the bottom, and boom, there you go. Let's see if it'll automatically reset if we go all the way through 6 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And no, it doesn't. So yeah, you're gonna have to push this down and make sure you reset your ammo count. Not too big of a deal, but I can see that being a little annoying in tight situations. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna attach this to a Strife, and we're gonna see if it can keep up with some rapid fire shooting. So let me go attach this, and I'll be right back. Before we move on, this is how I have my Strife set up. I have the ammo counter in its vertical position. I should tell you that one, you have to unscrew this little separation area to get it on there, because it has a nice little dip that goes into the grooves on the tack rail, which is really nice and adds for a little bit more security. Even though it does wobble a bit, I know it's not going to come off, so that's really nice. And there is that big tube, and it will go around your blaster, so just make sure it's kind of out of the way. And I know some people really like that look. I'm not too big of a fan of it, but it does come with this nice little hook on the attachment, so you can kind of manage it just a little bit. So let's fire this off. I have 2 18-round magazines, and we are not going for distance, so we're not going for power. We are going for how fast can this thing count the ammo. So gonna do one kind of normal, and then the second one will be at rapid fire. So here we go. And it counted down very well. I saw no problems with it. So for this one, I'm gonna try and get it in the camera angle so you can watch it as it counts down with me. Here we go. There we go, kept up really well. So I am confident that it can keep up with a nice, fast-firing rapid strike. I'm not too worried about that. And I should finally mention that this front piece has a very snug fit on the attachment area, which is really nice. So good going on that, Blaster Parts, because I know it's not going to fall into place. It's super, super firm fitting, which is great. So how do I feel about the Blaster Parts Alien Ammo Counter 2.0? I'll do pros and cons. The first thing that stood out to me about this product is that it is well built. It feels like it's never going to break unless you throw it on the ground in anger onto like concrete or something. There's no creaking, there's no moaning, there's no flexing. I can squeeze this barrel and it feels solid. It feels like a Nerf product. It feels like they made it. It is great. It just feels like a real product. It all fits together and it's solid, and I really like that. Secondly, it works. It works great. It can keep up with high rate of fire, it can keep up with low rate of fire. So this will work on modified blasters, and it will work on stock blasters, which is really nice, and I think that gives it a nice variety, along with being able to be used on anything that has a barrel attachment on the front of it. And it fits snugly. There's a little bit of tightness to it, so it's not going to go anywhere, because I know that some of the Nerf stuff, you know, moves around a bit. This is solid, it stays on there, and it just feels right. On to the cons. The first con I will say is that it looks cheap. While being really well made, it just looks like a third-party product up close. I know that it's 3D printed, and I think they put an acetone wash over it to kind of smooth out all the 3D printed lines, but that makes it look a little cheap. Something that Jakks Pacific, like Spy Gear, would put out. It just looks cheap, and I know that can put some people off. This wire, I found out that if you put it into the little loop that they have on there, it crimps the wire down just a little bit, and over time you'll have these little crimp marks going along this, but that's not too big of a deal to me because it's still going to work. It's just more of an aesthetics thing. Besides that, this is the big kicker, and I know a lot of you are going to be put off by this. It costs almost 100 euros. That's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. I can understand why it's a lot, because it's, you know, a complex working thing. It has electronics in it. It has a lot of 3D printed parts that have probably had time and care and manpower put into them to make sure everything works. But that price is really high. Really, really high. Almost 100 euros just from the start. Then you gotta pay shipping. So US customers, Australia customers, and people, you know, in Singapore, Thailand, stuff like that are gonna have to pay shipping on top of that. So you're basically buying 2 Centurions for 1 kit, and that is quite a bit of money. I can see that putting off a lot of people. Just like with the Centurion converter kit, if you can find a way to bring it down, you know, lower, then I'm sure people will be way more interested. If you have the money and you want an ammo counter, you don't want to build your own, this is a really, really cool place to start. I like it. It's you know, it's 100 euros, but I love this thing. It's so cool, and it's a great way for HVZers and NICers to break away from the old ways of telling when you're running out of darts, which is usually put like a whiteout dart on the bottom or every 5 or something like that to indicate like, oh, I'm almost out of ammo, these are my last shots. This will tell you you don't have to rely on weird loading techniques. You don't have to rely on watching your darts to make sure that that white one just came out, better, you know, reload now. This is clear, nice, big numbers that you can easily read. That pop out at night because of the red, and you just don't have to go back with those weird loading techniques. So that's really nice. That's all I have to say about this. So if you're interested in buying it, despite the little high cost, link in the description, and there'll also be a link to their store in general because there's a lot of cool stuff on there, and I think people should definitely check out Blaster Parts. So thank you, Blaster Parts, for sending this to me for a review, and I hope you enjoyed this, and have a great day wherever you are.